And we are live. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Derek Okahashi, team leader of Core Team Hawaii, broker by EXP. I'm going to show you guys my new listing today that we have up. That we had a crazy busy open house, so I guess I could lead that into how the market's doing and our, I'm always honest. Like, you need the data doesn't come out until the month after, right? So to have actual data to talk about. It's by design or by default, it's a little bit of an older data set. However, what we can look at is like new listings to the market. And since our team has such a higher volume, we can just kind of lick our fingers, put our fingers up to the wind, and give you an idea of how the market's doing just from our own experience, because we're writing offers, we're selling homes, etc. And we got this new one in Kaneohe that came up. So I went to coreteamhawaii.com. Oh, and by the way, everyone, leave your comments, questions. This is going to be a fairly quick one. I have to get out of here today. We don't have Mahe. It's just not a longer podcast type conversation. Bit of a presentation, and then get your comments and questions in immediately. Do we have anyone on yet? I should probably bring up my YouTube on my phone. So if you're just trickling in, get your comments and questions lined up. Put them in the comment section. This will be a quicker one today. In the meantime, I'm going to be showing you our website, our newer listing, talking about the market, and then other than that, answering your questions. So let me go to... Well, anyways, I'm going to leave it to Kenji to tell me how many people we got in the comments, because since I'm signed into to our core team YouTube, it's not bringing up. So load us up with your questions. All right, Kenji, if you can go to my screen. All right, coreteamhawaii.com. Go to the very bottom. You see our YouTube, videos and stuff here. So it shows like our top most viewed videos. But you can go down to the bottom. If you have any real estate questions or needs, just fill this out. On Tuesdays when we go live, our assistant is standing by, ready to look at these things that come in. So Kavika-ish. You put your name, put your email, put your phone number in. Put your phone number in, guys, because we're not a team that bothers you. And if you don't have a real estate need or don't want to connect with us, that's totally fine. But go to the bottom, fill this out. What I did to look at homes is I went to the top, I went to search homes, and it brought me here. Now I happen to know where this home is, so I just zoomed into Oahu. You'll start to see all the prices pop up, and I know that we are in Kaneohe, and we're listed at 1.15, and I'm pretty sure this is our guy right here. Yep. So this is 45-332 Koakahiko Street. I'll tell you, our sellers, the home is nice. Like, you can look at the home is nice, but with the months of preparation, our handyman going in there, specific paint touch-ups, not too much, we wanted to make sure we got a return on every dollar spent, whether that be strength of offer, a multiple of dollars spent, and or speed of the offer and speed of the sale. So as you can see, this thing's quite beautiful. Look at that kitchen, living room. Another shot of the living room. Has a big yard too. Renovated kitchen. One of the things we got in the open house a lot on this listing was, where are the handles? So I'm going to zoom in for you here. Like, where are the handles? Well, they knew they were going to sell, and cabinet handles aren't a standard thing. They're not just like, all of them are 4.5 inches apart. So the two holes or whatever. So if they pick handles, that means that you may not like them, and then you have these holes that don't match the handles you want to get. So they just chose not to put handles on the doors. It makes it look really clean. I was surprised at the open house how many people were like, they were pushing the drawers to see if they'd pop open. So we spent a lot of time explaining that. Let me zoom out a bit more. Are these too small? Leave me a comment. Are these too small the way... I'm trying to make it full screen, but at the same time, it doesn't scroll well that way. If I just hit, if I use the arrows, it works better. quartz countertops, luxury vinyl plank flooring, split air conditioning. Although in Kaneohe, a lot of times you won't need the split air. Gas stove. Notice gas stove. What's interesting about this property, so an interesting thing about Hawaii, there aren't a lot of places where gas is standard, and people coming from the mainland could be oftentimes disappointed. Like, oh, there's no gas. There's no gas. There aren't many neighborhoods that are gas. I would say less than 10% of the island is gas, maybe even less than 5%. And this one has gas, a gas line in from the city, not a tank. Surprisingly enough, some of the neighbors don't have gas. Now, I don't know if that's like a Hawaii fear thing. They had the option to switch to electric in the past and chose to. I'm not sure why that is, but it's another picture going down the hallway. And here's our staged primary bedroom. You can see the Ko'olau Mountains peeking out through these windows. There we are. Bathrooms looking very nice. Had the tubs and bathrooms refinished by our vendors. One of the great value adds is new lighting. So this might go unnoticed. Let me go back to the bedroom. Can we, well, that's new as well. Like, this may go unnoticed, and that's good because you just see a nice, bright, modern, beautiful home. But it was the older type. You know, when we were kids, they had that, like the light fixture with the thing that you screw. You like screw the, what is it? Like you screw like a nut onto a screw, a bolt, and then you drop the glass down. There's always bugs caught in there, whatever. They had that kind of older light fixture. And just this like $80 spend changes the room. All right, going back to the pictures, there's another bedroom. 2 of the bedrooms aren't shown. It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, but 2 of them aren't shown. Believe it or not, this is still owner occupied. So they've kind of relinquished all of their stuff into the 2 rooms or what stuff they have left, and they're in the process of moving. Super strong response from the people who attended the open house, and aloha to all you guys who attended the open and came and said hi to me. We had multiple people come up and say, hey, I watch you on YouTube. Appreciate that. All right. When did BJ Penn start selling houses? Nathan, I get that. I'll tell you guys a story, BJ Penn story before I finish. Not sure if you want to explain this here, but can you explain the new NAR commission thing? Handle that is a realtor, so I was only going to address that if it were brought up, but since you as an agent brought it up, then we'll hit it later. All right, here's the outside of the home. Look at the Ko'olau mountain views. This is something you just don't get in Ewa on the west side of the island. Whoa. I mean, look at the mountains. Crazy. Big yard. So 7,500 square foot lot. Wow. Look at that. That's Jurassic Park. Not far from Kaneohe Bay. We didn't overemphasize the ocean view, but from the living room you can see a bit of ocean view. And yeah, nice, beautiful home. All right. I'm going to get out from that. If you want to see that property yourself, you can go to coreteamhawaii.com, go to the buy section, search homes. Oh, shoot, I got rid of it. Oh, no, there it is. And then you can put in Koa Kahiko Street, 45-332 Koa Kahiko Street. This is a unique situation. I actually co-listed it with someone else who's not on our team, not with our company, just the way it works out. But we've been working with the clients for months. That person came in. She's been wonderful to work with. All right. When did BJ Penn start selling houses? This is unrelated to anything real estate, so I'm going to save that. First, I'm going to talk about the response to this home in the market. So we had at least 50 parties come through. It felt like the 2021 open houses where agents knew they were getting 20 plus offers. I don't think we're going to get 20, but we do expect multiple competing offers. It was busy. We had one little moment where we could like drink water. And I mean, I drank water throughout the whole time, if I'm being honest, but we had one little time where we like decompressed. No one was in the house. At times there were 5 families in the yard walking around, 6, 7 plus in the house. And agents coming, etc. I know that had we not prepped and marketed this home the way we did, it would not have been as chaotic at the open. Some other marketing we did. I mean, just down to open house signs. I littered the highway with open house signs at the intersection, and never mind that I had to jaywalk. You look at, I was worried about the cops. You look at one of those places, you're like, there's no way to get there legally, but there were signs, and it was really busy, and we're getting a good response so far. So what does that mean about the market? I think the market's heating up. There's another property that I'm aware of that when I gave my price opinion 2 months ago, there was no way that I could have made sense of what the market was doing right now. And today, the market is stronger. And we'll see what they close at. I have a feeling they probably closed higher than my price opinion a couple of months ago. But today's a different market. That's how it works going into the spring. That's just how it is. So, all right, BJ Penn. So I was in the gym the other day, and this guy was like, "Hey," I was lifting, and the guy was like, "Hey," he's like saying something, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then he points to a picture of BJ Penn. He's like, "I thought that was you," and I was like, "Oh yeah, I get that." The next day he came up to me, and he's talking, and he's like, "Hey, I thought you were your brother," and I was like, "What?" And then afterwards, he was like, "Oh, so are you still training? How's everything with the family or whatever?" And I'm like, "Oh, uncle, I'm not a Penn brother." And he was like, "You gotta be shitting me. You kidding, right?" I'm like, "No, I'm not a Penn." He's like, "Oh, I was sure you're their younger brother." And anyway, so I thought that was funny. Load us up with questions, guys. Load us up with your questions and comments. It's spring break. I'm going to keep it real with you guys. It's spring break. I had to bring my kids. I hear one on the other side of this wall, so I'm going to get them super quick. Load me up with another couple of questions and comments, please. Give me 30 seconds. If not, 10. Well, we are your family real estate team. Spring break. My kids in the new office. You sit down there, please. All right. And let me know, am I horrible for having had to do that on our live, or is that more relatable and personable? We got 19 people on here, no questions, comments. Load me up with something. Not sure if you want to explain this here, but can you explain the new NAR commission thing and what's happening? Touchy topic, Derek will address shortly. Yeah. So the first settlement was about decoupling of commissions. So if there's 6% of commissions happening, the administrative process shouldn't say 6%, and of that 6%, this is what happens to the rest. They should be decoupled. It should be defined what a buyer can be paid, what a seller can be paid, and who's paying it. And I don't see that as a bad thing. I'm not stressing out. I'm not fearful. I mean, that's okay. Oh, hello again. Just got off work and found your live. Thank you. Aloha, Derek. Hey, aloha, Moscone. So we already thrive on skill, being able to make sense of numbers, raw authenticity, and just real regular talk. And so I never needed my fees or anything about the transaction to be mystical. And I think that basically that's what the first settlement was about, was like decoupling and demystifying the real estate experience. Some people believe that sellers have always had to do something. But that's not the case, because a seller can sell as a FSBO, a for sale by owner, put their property on the market and offer anything or nothing. It's always been possible. I don't know his name. There's a famous person said, "Show me the incentive, I'll show you the outcome." Was it Einstein? Teddy Roosevelt? Oh, something like that. And I kind of live by that. Show me the incentives and I'll show you the outcome. The reason why buyer's agents are the buying side of the real estate transaction is incentivized is because it could go really bad. People are vulnerable. It's the third most stressful thing. There's death, divorce, and moving in life. we know that because a lot of our clients relocate, or even if they're relocating on the island, that's a big stressful thing. There's a 14-page purchase contract with an unset amount of addendum and disclosures attached to it. There's $1 million being transacted or more or less. So I used to work in healthcare. Now, I'm not saying I'm a surgeon or orthopedic surgeon. I don't have those specific skills, but I just helped a physician buy a $4 million home, and it was one of the worst ones of last year. The other side was not disclosing properly. Now, they told me personally that there was a termite inspection that happened that we weren't aware of at what time, and that there were findings, and that there was treatment. But I asked to have that in a disclosure. Wouldn't give it. There are multiple other things in some of these transactions. So a surgery can go really well, but also I was listening to this thing on YouTube this morning about happiness being a choice, and the guy lost his kid, and he went in for appendectomy. That's supposed to be a routine thing, but the kid died. When I was in surgery with these world-class surgeons at Stanford, if it went well, you didn't pay less. If it went really bad, there wasn't like, oh, well, you know, insurance will cover you up to hour 10 of the surgery, but at hour 10, we got to go to the waiting room and check, like, is your credit card valid? So the point is some transactions go smooth, you know, some don't. And that's why you want to find a better agent, someone who you trust to guide you through the process. And I have no fear about that because I'm confident in our skill, our authenticity. I'm confident in those things. I guess I would ask you guys watching this regarding that whole thing that's going on in the news about the NAR. Would you want to do this without us or someone like us? Like, would you want to represent yourself through a transaction like that? Now, I know of a case where there's a lawsuit going back and forth because the home is flooding after the purchase. And everyone knew it was flooding, but the sellers didn't say anything. The seller's agent was the buyer's agent 10 years ago. They were all disclosed that the house floods, but when they sold it 10 years later, no mention of the flooding. Like, these things happen, and now can I go and be your representative in the court of law? No, but we do our best to avoid these type of things, right? To bring skill to the situation. Negotiate. I mean, there's just so much. It would be a whole different conversation if I tried to explain everything, but there's so many areas where our skill comes into play. For us on this channel, even the mountains and mountains of guidance and information that people get before they even call us, if we no longer made money, we couldn't do this. That just is what it is. Like, we couldn't put this level of effort. The multiple people, you guys don't know Kenji as well. I could turn the camera and point to him, but we need him, you know, Mahe's effort, Kenny, Aiden, our 3 assistants, myself. We don't have healthcare. We don't, you know, I mean, there's a risk involved. There's down markets. And I am confident that you still need to continue to incentivize the buyer's agents. So I'm just not super worried about it. Now, what will change moving forward? It may just be administrative. You know, I think sellers, if I'm selling my house, in fact, I have one that I consider selling right now. My Ko'olina, sometimes I think about selling. I've been meaning to ask my tax guy, what would it mean to sell that investment? Because we did like a fancy tax play a couple years ago. So I know I would experience some depreciation recapture if I were to sell it. But sometimes I think about what would that mean if I sold it and just got rid of it. I would offer a commission to the buy side. Now, does that mean that I have to do it through different paperwork now? Maybe. I don't know. So I don't want to make this whole thing about that. But anyone who says, here's what I'll leave you with, and I led my team on this today. Anyone who says they know for sure what will come next, of, you know, what the response and the changes to our industry will be, if any, or at what scale, stop following them, because they don't know. It's impossible to know. There are a few small things that we may fundamentally and functionally know, structurally know, but we just don't know yet. So I'm not super worried about it. We're paying attention. We know that if there's a time where buyers don't want to be sold on bad relationships, just someone clicked on something on Facebook, all of a sudden I'm at a house meeting a stranger who I don't really vibe with, and that people are going to value the relationship even more now than they did before, then leave me a comment. I think that that's better for my team. But let me know what you guys think. I want to know, would you guys want to do a real estate deal without me or someone like us? And, do you think that would be a positive thing if we didn't exist and none of my counterparts existed? I can tell you what would happen if that did happen. Lawsuits would go up quite a bit, and then there would be an eventual response to bring guidance back and professionalism and skill back to the industry. But I'm okay with increasing transparency, skill, and authenticity. That's what we try to do here. All right. Well, I actually have some question. Can you name a few townhouse community popular in Mililani, Royal Kunia area, about 500 to 700,000, 2-bedroom? Mimi. We have a 2-bedroom coming up in Mililani for 500-ish right now. So keep in touch with us on that. Another popular one, E Vistas. If you could get into Ku'ulako is a great one. These are Mililani. Spruce Ridge Villas would be a popular one. Pinnacles would be a popular one. Kunia is less on the townhome front, more mainly single families, a couple smaller townhome-ish condo kind of buildings in Kunia. If you're talking Mililani Road, Kunia, Mimi, I wonder if you're going to be stationed at Wheeler, Schofield, or some other base similar. Popular for renters. Yeah, all are the same. Are leaseholds worth investing into for affordable housing and or as an investment? The only time that I recommend investing in leaseholds would be, one, if it just cash flowed like crazy, because a leasehold is a depreciating asset. So if your appreciation outran that, like if you look at my hands, if depreciation were going at this speed, but not appreciation, if cash flow were going like this speed, then maybe you could make sense of it. Like it would be akin to like Turoing. Like you buy a Jeep Wrangler, you rent it out, you're depreciating it quickly. But if you're cash flowing heavy enough off of it, then, who cares? But it's more similar to buying a car in terms of an investment play. Now, does that mean no one should ever buy a car? No, you buy one because you can make sense of the liability on your books. You need transportation. So if you want to just have a place to control for the next 20 years in Hawaii, and you're not concerned about the cost, but you just want to have it, okay. If you're older, you don't have any legacy you want to leave behind, like you're not donating to family when you leave when you're gone, or even your favorite nonprofit. But for the most part, I would always want to avoid leasehold if possible. I might want to own the rights to the lease and be the leasehold, like the person who, leases the land. That's a great cash flow thing if you can be that person, but that's a much higher level. Aloha, Derek. No question here. Just saying mahalo for the content. I'm not in the market, but just love the channel. Daniel, thank you very much. I appreciate it. What else do we got, guys? I'm going to make this a quick one and hop off. I see 30-something people there. If you guys have a question, a comment for me, or just gas us up, let us know feedback on the channel. I just be interested in hearing from you guys. Did I miss any? BJ Penn. Let me know if I actually look like BJ Penn, or if you guys know who BJ Penn is. For our team, we're doing really well right now. I think we have 16 to 18 in escrow, something like that. Helping a lot of people. Duke, please sit down. Spring break, kids are here. Yeah, we're helping a lot of people right now. It's the busy time of the year, but we got time for you because those were all put in escrow. When I look at our hot and lava list, so we categorize people in their stages. It's not that you're not hot, Mr. or Mrs. Buyer and seller. It's just that if you're a year out, that's not in the transact. What's the word I'm looking for? In the cycle, you're just not closer to the point of transacting. And so we're not super heavy in the cycle of hot and lava right now. Lava is you're actually writing offers, you're actually on the market. But we got a bunch of escrow. So we just went through a wave and we're ready for more. 28 people there. Sounds like I don't have any more questions, comments. This is a brief one, so load us up with your questions and comments for the next one. I believe Mahi will be back next week. We can talk about how this Kaneohe one will be in escrow by that time, so we can kind of allude to how that's going. And we'll actually have a new one in town on the market as a listing come next week as well, so we could show you the media on that. Kenj, let's see if I can. How's it, Don Johnson? Let's see if I can get the virtual link. All right, guys, you're going to actually have me for a moment more. Okay, yeah, here's our virtual tour. So if after I show this virtual tour, and you can go ahead and go to that, Kenj, if you guys stack up some questions in the meantime, then I'll answer them. If not, then thank you guys for supporting the channel. As always, we love you guys, and let's do business. Let's do real estate. Maybe I'll put this. Can I put this in the comment section? Can I put the listing? You know what we'll do afterwards? Afterwards, we'll put this listing in the comment section. We'll put it in the comment section or in the description so that you guys can see this exact listing. So the townhome in Mililani, Ro'okuni, again, can you name the name of the townhome that are less prone to the natural disasters, less insurance cost? Well, Mimi, if you're a renter, but I guess if you're looking at renting to people, then that's different. I don't think there's one in Royal Kunia or Mililani that is prone. Like, I guess none of them stand out as like, oh, that one's a big problem property or a problem neighborhood. So I would more try and brainstorm and think which one is a problem. And in Waikalani, there is a building that has a big assessment right now. Aiden and Kenny were just talking about it in our meeting. Maybe was it Merimanu Woodlands or was it the Cathedral building in Waikalani? They have like a big assessment. But that's not a natural disaster thing. That's like a financial thing. I want to own the townhome, but maybe renting. I have another client just like that right now, buying in that. I wonder, Cody, are you Mimi? Is Mimi Cody? I have a client looking for the exact same thing. I wouldn't worry about natural disaster. I'd more look at the association's history of financial what am I thinking? I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, we got to put this on. I'd more look at the neighborhood's history, the townhomes and the HOA's history of financial increases, assessments, how their books look, have underwriting and lending, pay special attention to that. But I would not be so worried about natural disaster because we just don't tend to have them. I mean, sometimes we have flooding from the Dole Cannery Dam, like down to North Shore. Kunia, you could be prone to some wildfires, but I think we'd have to jump on a console and get very specific because natural disaster is just not a big thing that we're concerned about with these townhomes in Mililani and stuff. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to let this video play, and it's almost done. There's our beautiful new listing. We got some updates we got in front of you guys. Look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. Mahi should be back. Eventually, we'll probably be doing some painting and doing some cool stuff in here.